Hello, everybody, and welcome to the White Hatter YouTube news show. I'm Brandon.
I'm Darren.
Let's get into some news topics, shall we?
In the news.
First news topic, update from Firefox, where their update will now
platform.
automatically remove tracking from URLs.
Is this kind of what Privacy Badger does? Or no, they're more cookies, right? They do more of the cookie thing. This is different. Why are tracking cookies different than tracking URLs, and why is this important?
Yeah, so kind of the newest form of tracking right now is most people know about cookies, but the little tiny tracking codes that websites put into your computer. Yeah. We are seeing plugins and regulations.
GDPR is a really good example.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There are limitations on tracking cookies, what companies can use now. So a way to get around that is companies are using URLs, web links, but you might see a web link that has like a / hashtag, a bunch of random numbers.
Yeah.
That is essentially a unique URL link that you are being provided. And it makes it harder to regulate that because it's just a web link. It's not some other code that can be banned. It's just a regular website link. So that is a common way that companies and organizations are using tracking.
It's interesting, right? Like we love Firefox, right? Like we use Firefox. We use a variety of different platforms depending upon what we're doing as a company, especially when it comes to doing online investigations. But what I love about Firefox is that they are becoming more privacy conscious, right, with respect to what it is that they do and how they do things. And it'll be interesting because I see a lot more people hopping over to Firefox or to the Brave browser. There's some others out there as well that is definitely putting Google Chrome on the hunt, right? Like on the chase. They're kind of running a little bit because these other companies are doing things that would not be in the best financial interest of Google, right?
Yeah. So great update for Firefox for if you use it or you're thinking about using it. Just another benefit for Firefox.
Yeah, we love it.
Next news article is YouTube introduces a new tool to battle content or comment spam and user account people who just who imitate other popular accounts.
Now, before you get going, a lot of people may not know this. I know a lot of the younger people do, but maybe not the older people. A lot of people don't know that YouTube is actually owned by Google. Google owns YouTube, right? So this shouldn't surprise us. So what's this all about, Brandon?
So one of the challenges with YouTube comments is people can make a YouTube account and choose any name they want. They can do a couple little misspells, but it looks like an actual big name YouTuber who may comment and maybe trying to artificially boost their own channel. Well, YouTube's
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know, right? YouTube's introducing a new upload setting that it's called increased strictness for comments. So what YouTube will do is they'll try to smartly determine accounts.
Smartly.
Yeah, no, smartly.
That's a good word.
We'll try to determine
smartly
accounts who are falling under that umbrella and prevent their comments from being pushed.
You're very smartly.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you think this is a good thing?
I think so. I think it is. People have been asking this for a while.
Yeah.
Just to make your YouTube comments a little more cleaner and a little more specific to what you're actually doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you are someone who posts to YouTube, this may be a really useful feature you may want to look into using when you upload a video.
Interesting. I mean, it's very interesting to see how these platforms are now starting to listen to their user base, right? Because again, I think we've kind of moved away from the wild west of social media platforms, and we've moved to more of a homesteader approach where, a lot of the new things coming out really aren't new. They're just, maybe different takes on an old thing. But I see companies like Google and some of the other big players now actually starting to listen to what their users are saying and making changes. Why? Because if they don't, they're going to lose potential clients, right? Which means a loss in profit. So I think this is a good idea.
Definitely.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Elon Musk Starlink can now beam to Wi-Fi to cars, boats, and planes. So Starlink has gotten the green light from the FCC that they can expand their services to vehicles in motion, including semi-trucks, RVs, planes, and boats.
I mean, this is only a matter of time. They do it with satellite radio, right? Like we have Sirius radio, right? True. You can use that in cars and boats and planes. So I see this as a huge thing for RVers, right? Who are traveling. Yep. Maybe they're doing boondocking, which means they're doing off-grid work and they still want to stay connected to the internet. What better way to do it than using this?
Starlink already has the ability to take your Starlink mobile,
right?
But this allows it to be in motion.
Oh, cool. But still, in an RV, that could be kind of cool, right? Well, while I'm driving, maybe mom's in the back watching her newest whatever on TV.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
The Starlink's plan is to have 42,000 satellites in orbit.
Did you just say 42,000?
Yeah, 42000.
You know, that kind of reminds me of some of the movies we've seen, right? Where they put up the defense grids. Well, remember Tony Stark in the last Avengers where he wanted, I forget what he called it, right? He wanted to put all these satellites up to create the shield around the Earth.
Right.
42,000. Holy moly. Like when you're launching, say, space capsule, you know, whatever it is, or your NASA or whatever, how do you not hit these things when you're launching to space?
I guess there's just a lot of space.
Yeah. Well, there's actually, I forget what the site is. I go there every so often. It's kind of cool where it tracks all the debris that surrounds the Earth from all these space launches, from the, right from Sputnik, the first one ever launched, to today. And it's just amazing to see how much of a garbage field is surrounding us up in space. Kind of like what do they call it in the South Pacific? The garbage patch, right? In the ocean.
I guess the benefit of space is that there's more space compared to the garbage patch.
Yeah, but it's locked in a geocentric, whatever it's called, orbit, where it's just locked there, right?
Yeah.
And eventually some of that stuff comes to Earth, as we have seen, right? It does, and it doesn't necessarily burn up in the atmosphere, right? But 42,000 satellites. God, can you imagine how much that is costing?
Yeah, but think about all the people who are going to switch their internet provider to Starlink.
Oh, I know. Maybe this will help to drive down some of the costs on Cablevision and some of the other things that are happening.
Well, maybe especially here in Canada, where our cellular plans are extremely expensive, some of the most expensive in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's an ability for Starlink to get miniaturized into like a SIM card, and then people use that.
I also think this is going to be a great thing for those in Northern Canada, where there is not a lot of good internet connection.
Actually, I think it was the Quebec government a
provincial government.
A provincial government is providing reimbursements for people in remote parts of their province.
Yeah.
And I think it was Quebec to buy Starlink because it's cheaper to do that than just feed a fiber cable in the northern parts of Canada.
Yeah.
Just give them all Starlink.
And I think by doing that, we're starting to shrink that digital divide, right, between those who have and those who have not.
Yep.
So, I mean, I do think that Elon Musk, once again, although his Twitter thing is still like, whatever, I see he's also laid off a ton of people from Tesla. Mm-hmm. Right, so that's interesting.
Well, Tesla isn't doing so well right now.
Yeah,
I think Tesla is probably one of his weakest companies.
Interesting. They're building a brand new Tesla dealership here where we live, just here on Vancouver Island. A matter like 5-minute drive from here and stuff. But I mean, they were the first to market in a big way, right, kind of thing. But there's just a ton of competition. Like, have you seen some of these e-cars and trucks that are coming out?
Yes.
It is unbelievable.
Or the electric Ford F-150 Lightning.
Yes.
Whatever that one is.
You can basically light your house up with that sucker if there's a power outage. Like, who needs an external generator when you have the F-150 Lightning, right? You can plug that sucker in. But I do think that this is interesting. But 42,000
That's the plan.
Satellites. Wow.
But you'll be able to get pretty much internet anywhere on the planet.
And just understand as well, Starlink or Elon Musk will also know where you're located at any time if you're using these things, right?
I guess that is much like your satellite radio.
Yeah.
Satellite radio knows where you are.
Right. So I wonder if some of the 3-lettered agencies out there may, try to get into that kind of data, right? Like, the 3-letter agencies I'm talking about.
FBI, right? NSA, CIA.
Yeah, kind of thing. So very interesting. With convenience comes vulnerability, and maybe some of that vulnerability, maybe the data that they're collecting with this. But I think it's a cool thing. But 42,000 satellites, don't we have enough up there already? Like, again, how does NASA figure out how to shoot a rocket into space without hitting one of these bloody things?
I guess it's such a wide target,
and maybe they're only in a specific orbit as well. So, I'm thinking, how does the space station? How does it kind of get around?
I believe these satellites are low orbit because the closer they are to the planet, the better connection they get for internet.
Oh, okay.
So I do believe the space station is higher than that.
Okay. I'm just thinking, like, how do you shoot a rocket into space without not hitting one of these bloody things? The launch window, as NASA likes to call it, right? Finding that right launch window so that when you do launch, the risk of hitting something is not that great.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Last news story for the show.
Give me a break.
So Snapchat has announced a Snapchat Plus feature, which is a $4 monthly subscription service.
Okay, so what
do
you
get for passionate users?
So what do you get for $48 a year?
So what was announced immediately was people can change the app icon.
Big deal.
And you can pin favorited users as BFFs on the top of your messaging, so they're always at the top.
For $4.
And they announced that you'll be able to indicate who has rewatched your stories. So if you want to be snoopy, you can do that. And they announced they're planning other beta features and special features. That's really about it. They've announced
$48 a year. So a couple of thoughts here. Why are they doing this?
Because money. Why not? Just another way to make money.
I think what's happening is, much like anything else, Snapchat has been around a long time. It's still very popular with teens. It's one of their primary ways that they communicate with one another is using Snapchat. Yeah. However, things like Discord and Twitch and some of the other ones that are coming out now are direct competition to that. So I suspect that they're losing market share, which means advertising revenue, which means they got to do something to make up for that. And maybe this is the reason why. Again, I might be wearing my tinfoil white hat right now, believing that. But, why would they have such a good thing going right now? Why would they want to add a premium service to that? Like, it just
it's for people who only really just use Snapchat. I mean, this could
maybe influencers on Snapchat, who are using it as a professional.
Even then, for influencers, you get to change your app icon and you you get to pin someone to the top of your friends. At least what the features have been announced so far. Even then, I don't really. I guess it's what could come up. What will they allow people with this program do?
Yeah, whatever they do, I'm sure there's going to be another social media platform out there that allows people to do the same thing for free, right? Like it's interesting.
Yeah, but your friends may not be on those platforms.
Well, yeah, but you can easily move them there. Things trend, right? Like, I mean, that's how things go.
Yeah.
So I'm suspicious as to why they're doing it, because it's being free. I mean, they make all their money off of ad revenue and selling their data. So why go to a $4 premium month? Throw about $48 a year.
Well, it still is free. You just get extra features.
Right. But you're paying for it. Right. So yeah, it's still free. But if you want all these new premium features, you have to pay $4 a month or about $50 a year. Like, why would I do that? And why are they doing it? So anyways, just a thought.
I mean, I guess it would have been better if they announced better features.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But I don't get it either. No. But
we'll see what happens. I think teens aren't going to do this. I think the people who will pick up on this will be the influencers who are using their Snapchat in a professional business type of format. Yeah. I think those will be the primary people who will use that. But even then, why do I want to pay $50 a month to do something like that when I can maybe, pour that money somewhere else as a business? So
I could see some scams popping up from this.
Really?
Well, you have this new announcement, and what's stopping a scammer from messaging someone going, "Hey, Snapchat Plus is now a thing." And maybe a scammer, "Hey, welcome to an introductory deal."
You're always thinking that way. I mean, that's why you got your master's degree in phishing, right? And all that kind of stuff. You're right.
Scammer offers you a promotional rate of $1.
Yeah, here's a code, right?
Here's a code. Click this link, log in. Or here's a trial version for a month. Which is not uncommon. A lot of services offer trial versions.
I think I could call you Dr. Evil. You're right though. I mean, something new like that on a very popular platform is primed to be used for the purposes of phishing, right?
Yeah. Because people may not know about it. They may Google it, go, "Oh, it's a new feature coming up." And because it is an actual thing that they're doing, I think people might be more. Be careful what you log into.
Yeah, for sure. We've always said that, right? Mm-hmm. Go right to the source, right? Go right to Snapchat, right? Yeah. Don't depend upon a link that you receive in your feed somewhere,
or your email, or your texting, or anywhere.
Yeah. All those kind of things. Interesting week. Summer's here, right? We did our last, I think you did your last presentation last week or the week before.
Yep.
So now we're right into doing upgrades. I know that you got a couple of projects on the go. I got a project on the go too. It's kind of exciting, something we're going to announce probably next week on the show and that kind of stuff. But some exciting times updating and doing what it is we do. You know, we've already got just over 30 presentations booked for the fall.
Great.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think in the history of the company have we ever had as many pre-booked programs as we do now. And I think a part of that is because of the virtual. Like, there are some schools now starting to ask us if we'll come in and do live presentations. And we said, yeah, sure. We're waiting to see what happens in the fall, because as you know, I don't know if you've been watching the news, but the Canadian health professionals have said that they expect a seventh full wave to hit us, probably starting next month actually, and going into the fall.
Or
right?
what travel will be like. We're seeing all the. Have you seen the TikToks of all like the baggage at like Heathrow or something?
It's brutal.
It's like,
It's
what is
brutal.
going on with the travel industry right now?
So, if it's local schools where it's easy to travel locally, we may do that. However, the costs go up because of gas, what's going on with gas and ferries and all that kind of stuff. And so, but doing things virtually is such a huge cost savings. And that's where we've really specialized now. So I think we're moved more to what I like to call the hybrid model, right? So I still see a lot of schools, and a lot of schools have heard us live, who's now also heard us virtually now for the past 2 years, have actually said to us, they prefer the virtual because we can do so many other cool things with the virtual that you just can't do in person. And the other cool thing is that what we do is not Zoom, it's not Teams, it's a live video production using the set that you've developed, right? Which is kind of cool. So exciting summer ahead of us with all these projects that we got going on the go. I mean, your brain is running a mile a minute, my brain is running a mile a minute, but there's really only two of us doing all this kind of stuff. So it's a matter of finding time. But the project that I've been working on, I'm pretty excited about it, and you giving me kind of the leeway to learn by experience has been somewhat exciting for me as well, to be quite honest. Lots to learn, and I look forward to announcing that next week as to what we're doing. So,
alrighty. On that note, we'll see you all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.